Yes. Hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you. I hope I'm clearly audible to all. Yes, a very good evening. I hope that I'm clearly audible. Yes, a very good evening. I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome back to the session again. Hi Amira. Hi Naresh, Uma, Gurpreet, Sa Sarth, Sanket, Pragyan, Lakshita, Santosh, Bobby. Hi, good evening. Hello. Perfect. Great. So I hope all of you are good. You are learning, and I hope you do remember that what we were doing in the last class, right? Good evening, Pragyan. In the last class, we were talking about prototyping. We were talking about the chain, prototyping chain that we have done, right? Uh, in which we have got to learn that how actually this prototype works and how it does the inheritance and keeps on looking until it reaches the null, right? In the prototyping chain also. There's one thing which was left for us in the previous class, that was prototypal inheritance versus ES6 classes, right? Like I would like to explain the concept of this inheritance, prototypal inheritance, and what we can achieve with the E6 classes. This is what I'm going to complete in this class first. And then afterwards, we'll move to the other topic that we have to do in this class. And that topic which we have to work upon is on the list that we have is this callback functions, issues, promises, and promise chaining and error handling. These are the few things that we need to discuss. Let's see how much time that we'll be able to cover in this class, and then we'll move forward. Okay. So first, let's talk about this particular thing, that is prototypal inheritance versus E6 class. Okay. For this, I would like to take a new file and would like to work upon that example. So let me take a new file here. Let me save this file, ex underscore. We have 18th dot html is the name I want to give, and this is my HTML. Okay. So this is the topic we are working on, prototypal inheritance versus EC classes. So I'm just giving the same title so that we'll remember in each file that uh, which topic that we work upon, right? So we are going to have the script and there we need to work upon, right? Okay. So important thing, first of all, when we say prototypal inheritance, that means we are talking about the object inherit the data, the object inherit the data directly from other objects, okay, via the property chain. When I say prototypal inheritance, that means I'm talking about there is an object inherit from the other objects directly. That means we are not talking about inheriting the attributes of the object one by one, but instead of that, we are going to do what it does. It inherit the entire object directly from the other object with the help of prototype chain concept that we have learned. Yes, for this we set a create function which we set up for the inheritance method that are shared by the prototype, again not copied. It is more flexible, dynamic, and useful also, right? Okay, few points. So we use object.create to set up the inheritance. The methods are shared via the prototype. They're not copied. They're more flexible, dynamic, and useful for delegation in order to handle that, right? This is what we say are prototypal inheritance. But we got a change with the ES6 classes. What is the change? Synthetic sugar over the prototypal inheritance. We got a new concept of synthetic sugar that has been introduced in ES6 for cleaner and object-oriented programming style coding, right? That means we are going to have class, we are going to have objects that we define, and directly we can have that. What are the key concepts that we use? Very important thing. We use classes, we use constructors, We use extends for the inheritance. And if I want to get the property of the parent class, yes, we do also super. Instead, if I have two methods, same name in one class, one of its own class and one inherited, if I want to control that, I want to call the method of parent class super we use. It encourages, what encourages? Synthetic sugar in E6 classes, right? They encourages more clear and structure code as compared to, yes, Madhu, you are right, override. So E6 classes encourages clearer and more structured code. It has better support for inheritance and super calls. Under the hood, it still uses the same property, but with a new method that is really, really helpful, right? This is the reason that we use E6 classes versus prototypal inheritance due to the clear and more structured code, better support for inheritance, and with the concept of class constructor extend super, which was not there, right? So I will make a code that will help you in understanding the prototypal inheritance and difference between prototypal and E6 classes inheritance. Okay, that's how we do. So let me write a script first of all. So in that we don't have classes, right? I hope you remember that how we actually define. We don't have classes directly, right? We can't do that. In prototypal inheritance, we describe a variable, right? Okay. And we write the body of this, right? In the body, we obviously create function. But we have learned the different concept of the functions also, right? Manual function and arrow functions. Yes. So I'm doing prototypal inheritance where I've defined a animal with the constant. Then I have a method with the name speak. And I'm just printing here on the console.log, right? Animal speak. They speak something, right? Speaks. Just mentioning here proto. Okay. Any statement you write, just like I'm just writing it for like anything. Okay. I have got the animal in which I have a function, and function has some property. Console.long, they are printing. Animal speaks this proto. This is what my function is. And once we are ending this class, ending this animal, I'll put semicolon here also. Okay. Now, if I want to inherit in prototypal inheritance, if I want to inherit, then what we need to use? We need to use object.create to set up the inheritance. Okay. So what is my object? I am going to create that, right? Constant. Let's suppose I'll say cat equals to, now I'll write here object.create. And what I'm going to do here, once I say object.create, and I'll say animal here. Okay, what we are doing, this is my class that we describe in this way, constant with the name equals to with the body which has function. This is the object that we are creating for animal class and the name is cat. Now, if I need to call this method, I can only call this method of animal with the help of this object cat. So what will I do? Cat dot, I'll say speak. And with this, you know what it is going to print? It is going to print animal speak proto. Is it okay? Does it make sense to everyone? Easy to understand? We have simply made this class object, and object is trying to assess the members of this class. But how we created object? Object.create method we use. This is prototypal inheritance. Okay. Is it okay? Right? Now, I'll tell you the difference between ES6 classes. What we do in that case. In ES6 classes, we have the concept, see, class constructor, extend, super, everything that we do. So if I have to describe a class here, I need not to use constant, this word equals to variable. No, you simply write class. Very simple thing. You simply write class animal, which we are having, and we are going to define the body of this. I want to have a speak function. Perfect. Console.log, and you type here animal speaks. You type here ES6, okay, just to have that difference so that we understand what is happening in that. Is it okay? And class is ending. We are going to put there's no need to put semicolon now also, right? Class method this. Is it okay? Easy to understand? I want to do inheritance. So for this, I want to have another class dog. I want to inherit animal class into the dog class. For this, we use extend keywords. Okay, for this, we use extends keyword, and I'll write here animal. You know what I'm doing? I'm inheriting the properties of animal class into the dog class. I'm inheriting the properties of animal class into the dog class. And let me just keep it empty. Okay. Class dog extend animal. This class dog class is empty. It do not have any attribute. But I'm inheriting the animal class into that. This means speak function will also come in the dog class, right? Because we have done inheritance. Is it okay? Now I need to create object. So I need not to do this thing, object.create here, right? Very simple thing. We need not to do that. How we create the object in that? Very simple, okay? So I define here constant. I need to create object. Let me take the class name as capital D, and let me take the object name as small dog. There's a difference. They both are different, right? And we use new keyword, okay? And we use new keyword, okay? Now this is what it means. It means what we are doing. We are creating object. What is the object name? Dog. For which class? For which class? Dog class we have created. Is it okay? Simple. We are using same variable class. It's very easy to handle that. Can you see? I'm using extend keywords to do the inheritance, not prototyping chain that we have done in last class. I'm simply using new keyword to create a new object instead of object.create. It is very similar to the other programming, object-oriented programming language that we use, right? Like Java is the one. Is it okay? Now, with the help of this object, I'm going to call speak. I'm going to call this method speak. Will I be able to get yes or no? You tell me. I have created the dog object and I'm calling the method speak, which is an animal class. But will I be able to call it here? Yes or no? Yes, here we are defining the data type of that, Madhu. Okay. That is the one difference that we use. Okay. Not with the help of the class that we are doing. We have to do it with some variable or with some keyword that we are using here. Okay. Right. But similar to the concepts that we use, Madhu, similar to the syntax wise, most of these things we are using, right? So my question is, will I be able to call here yes or no? Will the dog object be able to call this speak method yes or no? The answer is yes or no. Tell me, Ankita, Madhu. Yes, the answer will be yes or no. Yes. Why? Because we have done inheritance, so animal class properties will come in the dog class, and we have created the object for the dog class. So that will be able to call the speak method. Is it okay? So you save this file Let me open in the browser and let me share the screen with you guys. Let me open the console and you see we are able to get that. Can you see that, guys? Is it visible to you guys, everyone? So with ES6 classes, it becomes simple. It becomes super easy for us to use the concept of this object-oriented programming to do inheritance with extend keywords, to create object with the new keyword with the class name, and to create the class with the class keyword. That is what the difference we have with prototypal inheritance versus ES6 classes. I hope it is fine and easy to understand for all the participants present in the class. Is it okay? Is it helpful? Do you understand the concept with the example? Is it fine? Perfect. That's really great. So now let's move then to the topic. Sir, why we need ES6 and Pro two types in inheritance? When we use both two types inheritance. Madhu, the point is, uh, earlier it was using prototypal inheritance, now. With that, the syntax were already defined. We were using all these things. But as the time passes on, they require some modifications, need to understand the things more well. So they have introduced the concept of object-oriented programming into this also, right? That is the reason they got ES6 classes with which it was easy to handle that. We are mostly using ES6 classes for the inheritance purpose, right? Okay, but everything cannot be jump onto the good things done. They just start with the basic thing. You also talk about computers, right? Earlier we used to have so many big computers, right? Coming from mainframe, these computers, and now think about we even have in the form of laptops, and even mobile phones have a RAM of 16 GB. Is it okay? Perfect. So let's talk about the other thing that we need to discuss, that we have this callback functions and issues. And what is callback? Callback help, that is also we discuss. But first of all, let's talk functions. We know what are functions. But let's first of all talk about what is callback. A callback is one type of function which is passed as an argument to the another function. Earlier, to what we do? We create a function and we pass parameters in that a comma b, right? And then whatever the variable that we define to assign the data. Is it okay? But now we are talking about a callback is another type of function. That function is passed as an argument to another function, right? A function is passed. Sorry, Gurpreet. Actually, I've been told to take the lecture in English only. So please consult with your team once. And if they approve that I can speak in Hindi, then it's fine. But otherwise, I've been instructed to take the session in the English only. So it's just my request, because there are other participants also, those who don't understand Hindi. That is the reason we are keeping the same language. So that it will be easy for all of you. Yes, I hope it's fine. So now talking about a callback. A callback is another function which we pass as an argument to the another function and invoked after some operation is completed, which we say as asynchronous. Like I was giving you example here. If I'm going to call this function, both the parameters need to be passed now. When I'm going to call this function, when I have to call this function, I have to pass both the parameters. If I'll give only one, what will happen? There will be an error. Agree with that? Fewer number of arguments, right? So the point is, a callback is a function which is passed as an argument to another function. That means in the argument, we are going to have a function, but that will, one more important thing, that it will be invoked after few operations will be completed. That means it's like a asynchronous. Some of the things happening earlier, afterwards, this, all. That means it is like a timer also that we are able to control. So this is what we call as a callback. Let's try to create a new file and understand how does it work. Okay. Callback function. Okay, Ji. This is what we need to do now. So that's again very simple thing that we are going to do. Let me write a script. And in the script, I would like to do what? I would like to create a function. So function with the function name, fetch underscore data I'm keeping. Fetch underscore data. This is the function I'm keeping. We need to pass an argument. I'm passing the argument as callback. Is it okay? So callback. In this function, obviously I have to write a body. And in that, I'm also calling another function in JavaScript. You know, we use set timeout function in JavaScript. Anyone knows? Do you have an idea? What does set timeout function does? What does set timeout function does? Anyone? Set timeout. Yes. Okay. It execute after some time. Perfect. That's really great. Means to give a gap. So I've created a function fetch data callback. That means I'm passing the argument as a function. In the function, I'm creating another function set timeout inbuilt function where first part I'm writing the body of that function console.log, and in the console.log let me just write something to understand data fetched. Okay, this is what I'm writing, console.log data fetched semicolon. Then again I'm writing as callback. This is the function which is going to call, and what else we can do? My function, this set amount will be finished here. This set timeout will be finished here. Just one second. This set timeout will be finished here, comma, and let me put it 2000. Like after 2 minutes, it will be called. This is what I want to do. And now my function will be end here. Okay. Just let me first complete it. Function. Just one second. Display underscore data. Let me just complete it first of all so that I'll check if there is an error. Console.log. Let me print something. Write something displaying data. And I need to call my function also. This function I need to call. And in that I'm passing display data. Okay, perfect. Now you see what I'm doing here. I've created a function. Yes, Madhu, I know that. This is a function I'm created, fetch data, in which as an argument, I have passed callback. This function has another inbuilt function in that, which is set timeout. And when this function will be called, it will print data fetch, but after 2 seconds with a gap of 2 seconds, right? So the set timeout function starts here from the parenthesis, in which first part was the body of this, which ends here. And second is the time that we have to give, right? After how much time? That is 2 seconds we are giving. Okay. Argument, which argument, Bobby? Which argument you are talking about? This callback? Yes, yes, this is set. I tell you now why. Because we are talking about callback function, na, Bobby, right? So when I'm calling this function fetch data, I've called. And there's another function I have created, display data. Now, as an argument, what I'm doing, as an argument, I'm not passing a variable, I'm passing a function. Can you see that? Display underscore data is a function, right? When I'm calling fetch underscore data, I am passing a function here. Can you see that? Is it okay, Bobby? It can be any name. Yes, yes, yes. It's fine. So now what will happen, when fetch data will be called, display data function will be passed in this callback. So set timeout will be called and it will print data fetched. After that, it is calling the set callback function. Now, what is callback function? That is display data. That means we are expecting in between, it is going to print display underscore data. Data fetch, display underscore data. But that will be done with a 2-second delay. So this is what we are doing. Just give me 1 second. So this is what we are doing. We are passing a function. We are passing a function. We are passing a function in the callback that can be called anywhere with the help of this call. So this is why we use callback function. A function passed an argument and invoked after some operation asynchronous. Now this is going to call first and that will be called with the 2-second delay. Is it okay? That will be called with the 2-second delay. Let me open the console. Right? Okay. That you see after 2 seconds it is coming. I'll refresh that. Can you see after 2 seconds it will come? Is it okay? So this is what we have done in a callback function to call to pass the function. Now we have passed function as an argument in this so that it will be called, and this is what we have done. I hope it makes sense to everyone that what is a callback function, which is passed as an argument and that will be invoked after some time, considering it as asynchronous. Is it okay? Is it fine for all of you? Do you understand what is a callback function? Any doubts? Any concerns? Is it fine for all of you? Is it helpful? Madhu, what do you like? What is the issue? Like, at what step you don't understand? This is one function I've created, Madhu, right? The name of the function is fetch underscore data. It has one argument that is callback. In this function body, I have created a function set timeout. The first parameter, the first parameter of this function is the body of that function. Huh? I can write it separately also. But we have used arrow function here, na Madhu, right? That we are defining. SetTimeout function has a console.log that is printing data fetched. You are okay? I have a doubt in this topic. Can you explain with this code? With which code? I'm explaining with this code. You want me to explain with some other code? I have not received that. I've not received the image that you have sent. No. For that, uh, it's okay if we have some these kind of doubts in some other class. Otherwise, I will not be able to complete the topic. Let me first complete the topic for others. I have noted down your doubt. I can take your doubt in the next class. Will it be fine? Or we can connect. Is it okay? Perfect. Great. So I hope guys you understand this thing. What is a callback? Now the point is what our promise is also. Okay. But one more thing we are left is what is callback hell? Now callback hell is the one when callbacks are nested. I hope you understand when I say nested loop or when I say nested, a for inside another for, we call it as nested loop. Okay. Simple meaning of nested. So when callbacks are nested within another callback, it results in difficult to read and maintain the code. That is the concept we call it as, yes, loop inside a loop. To callback, once the callback are kept in as a nested, it becomes difficult to maintain that, and that results in what? That results in callback hell. This is one example, right? You see here, set timeout function. One part of the body is step one. This is first parameter of this, right? The function ends. Then inside that, there is another set timeout function for which another body is there, set timeout log. That means in this set timeout, there is a function inside another function that we are having, and that with the gap of 1 second of each. Is it okay? Can you see that? Now, once this become inside, once these callbacks are nested within another callbacks, so this will actually result in the difficult difficulty and difficult to maintain the call, and that is where it become a callback hell for us. Is it okay? This is what we call it as callback hell. So generally we need to avoid this obviously so that we maintain the things on easy level. Now comes the concept of promise. What is a promise? Is it like what we are doing at the humans? No, that's generally one of the point that we say. But what are promises? Yes, a promise represents a value that may be available now, later, or never. But it avoids the callback hell. We have to avoid that now, otherwise, so nested. So many things, so many persons can use also in different ways you can use, right? Some way you can't avoid. But how we can avoid that? For that promise come. A promise represents a value that may be available now, later, or never. It avoids callback hell by using dot then for chaining purpose. Okay. It uses the concept of dot then function for chaining purpose, right? Let's try to understand. So we understand, do we understand what is callback hell? Callback hell is the nested, when callbacks are in the nested loop. Now, how to avoid that? We got promise. We got the concept of promise. But how we are avoiding? Promise is a value that is going to be set, which helps us in avoiding the callback hell. How? By using dot then operator, dot then method. Is it okay? So let me take a new file. And let's create. Okay. Promise. We have to write the script also. Is it okay? So it is a value which is helping. How? Now how we are going to describe that? Let's try to understand that. Okay. So that we can solve that. So I'm going to write a function. I'm going to write a function for the same, right? Which example we can take? Let me take a simple example so that it will be helpful to you guys also. That's fine. So let me describe a function, and function name I'm taking fetch underscore user. Okay. Any name you can give and it's fine. Just, I don't want to have any argument. Then I want to define the body of this function. So I want this function to return something, but I think it will be easy for you to understand or difficult. Let me check. Please give me 1 second. What I'm thinking is that how we can do that so that we can understand that with the easy way now. Okay, let me try it a different example. Not with this console function. Let me try. So let me say how to create a promise first of all. It's a value that we are saying. Okay. So let me define a variable let my underscore promise equals to new promise. Okay. Which has parameter promise resolve comma reject. That I'm defining a function with the body. Let me just write the example first of all. I'll explain it to you guys. Let me set it as true, defining a variable. If success, if it is true, then we need to write a body that I'll call the resolve method that promise resolved successfully, or I will use else part. I will call reject that promise was rejected. Okay. Now I have created the promise. Let me, do we need to put semicolon also? Yes, I think so. We have created this promise here now. Let this variable new promise. This is the parenthesis from where it starts and this is where it ends. Put semicolon. Now I need to do what? Now I need to do what? Now I need to use the promise. How to use the promise? We need to use dot then. Okay, we need to use this dot then. So let's try to do that. So my promise name is, this is the variable that we have created, my underscore promise, if I'm not wrong. With the help of this variable, I am using dot then. Okay, to create that. In that, I am having result. I am having result. This arrow function body that we are defining console dot log result. Console dot log result when resolved and dot then dot we are having catch. Let me define error for which we have body console dot log. Let me call error console dot log. Let me call error, and we have started my this here. I'm putting semicolon. Let me just check whether it is working or not. Just give like we do not have any error. Promise. Okay, that's fine. We got. Now let me explain this example. Let me come back. I hope that you all are here. Okay. Now what I've done here, understand the point. I've created one variable here. Okay, everyone. Which I've created with the new. In this, you have two of these parameters that we have passed. One is resolve, one is reject. By default, I've created this flag variable, which I've set it to true by default. Yes, Sanket, please tell me what is the concern? Sanket Pawar, you have raised your hand. You have any concerns? Please tell me. Yes, Sanket, you can message in the chat box. Do you have anything in your mind? You have raised your hand. Okay, no. Yes, everyone. So if the value of success is true, then what will happen, Madhu? Ankita, resolve will be called. Okay. If the success is false, then reject will be called. Right? With this message, it will come. That is my function promise which we have created. Right? Allocated one. Then I told you how to use that. A promise represent a value which we use. Yes, and Kate, please tell me what is your concern. You are raising your hand uh, again and again. But for this, you have to type the message in the chat box that what is the concern. Do you have any difficulty? Okay. But how we are going to avoid this hell? By using dot then for chaining. Dot then. So I'm using here my function. With the help of this, I'm using dot then. And I'm saying with dot then, if it is true, then result will be called. But if there is an error, dot catch we are using, right? Yes, Sanket, it is like try catch. Perfect. But if there is any error in this code, if there is an error in this code, then that value will remain false and else will be called. Is it okay? So this is what we are using to avoid the chaining, that if it is correct, then result will be called. Otherwise, if there is an error, then reject will be called. Is it okay? Otherwise, in that error, that reject will be called. This is what we are using. Do you understand that? Is it easy for you to understand that what we are trying to implement here? Is it helpful to you guys? So we are using here the concepts, the concept of the promise where a promise is created. So when the promise is resolved, resolve will be called. When it is rejected, then with that console catch, that error will be called. So here we have created a promise. Here we have created a promise. Inside the promise, it either resolve or it either rejects. Two things we have put up, right? Okay, two of the things we have put up in that. You can see resolve or reject. We are handling the result using dot then and dot catch. Like if the promise is successful, resolve will be called, and dot catch we are using in case there is an error, then reject will be called. So once you open the browser, you see the result. Because we are expecting that there is no error in this case, so we are expecting that resolve will be called. Do you understand? We are expecting that promise resolved will be called. That's a value which we are using for what purpose? To show that how we are going to handle this, how we are going to handle the callback hell using dot then we are using. So promise was resolved because there was no error in that case. Do you understand that? We do have a function inside a function chaining that might can affect that. But how we are avoiding that callback? Hell, by using dot then either this or this. If there is no error, then that. Then using dot catch, we can help. Is it okay? I hope it is fine. So next thing that we need to work upon, let me just save the file first of all. This is the concept. Promise chaining and error handling. For this, we need to write the script. I'll explain you first of all what it is and what we need to do with that so that we can easily understand that, right? So promise chaining, you can chain multiple dot then. Like I have used one dot then only, right everyone? To make one successful operation, one dot then we have used. One I've used for dot catch in case we are having an error. Can we do promise chaining? That means can we have multiple dot then can we have multiple functions to perform sequentially asynchronous tasks? The answer is yes. So with promise chaining, you can chain multiple dot then functions that to be called to perform sequential asynchronous tasks. Is it okay? This is what we need to use, right? For this, I need to describe one example, but I hope, is it okay if I'll just like paste some code here and I'll explain that would be easy for you to understand. Is it okay? Like you see here, I'm created a function with step one in which we are returning a promise with the resolve. We have used set timeout. You see inside a function, inside that we are using, which will be printing step one that will be completed. And then it is calling the resolve function again, data from step one after 1 second. Okay, we have created a step one function in which what we have done, we have created a promise with resolve. Inside that, we have a set timeout that is printing a step one completed data from step one after 1 second. I would also like to repeat the same thing. I would like to have chain now. Can we have multiple dot then? Yes. I would like to create another function with step two promise. Again, I would like to do is what resolve. I'll say step two completed and data is from step number two with same 1 second gap. Similar step I want to do, right? Now I have two functions, step one, step two, and it has one resolve from this, one resolve from this, which I'm having. Is it okay? This is what I'm having in my script. Fine. This is what I'm having in my script. I think that need to be closed here if I'm not wrong. Yes, yes, yes. So this my function one will be stopped. Function two will be end here. Function two will end here, right? Two functions I've created, step one, step two. Now I need to call. Let's suppose I'll call step one first of all. Okay. What I'll do, I'll call step one. And what I'm going to do, dot then. So with that, what will happen? Result. I will call result arrow function dot then result, but I'll be calling here step two result. Is it okay? This is what I'm writing here. This is one then I'm using. Then you can also keep it in the next line. That's also fine to understand in the more good. I am also using another then, okay, for which I am using another variable, final, another variable inside that final underscore result. And with that, I am going to call One more thing, console.log, console.log. I'm saying final result. Okay. For this, you can print also. You have variable that is created. You have created final result. You have created 1 second. Just give me 1 second, guys. Have I created this variable? I've created step one. I've created step two. That's fine. Result. Okay. Let me call the same variable here. Final underscore result. Okay. Then I am having, then this ends here. And I'm defining one catch, dot catch. And that catch will have error. For this error, we are defining, for this error, we will be defining console.log. So we need to print something. Console.log, no, console.error actually, right? That we need to do. Okay, console.error that we have to. And I need to say here, double quotes, error occurred and comma, and I'll be printing error again, right? Now see here what I'm doing. Okay, again explaining you. Let me put semicolon here. Once we will end with this dot catch. Right, perfect. So here I've created one function that is step one, in which it is returning me a promise, and that promise is resolve, which has a function of set timeout that will be printing step one completed, resolved, and it will call the resolve again with data from step one completed, and it has a 1 second gap. Similarly, step two, again call resolve, step two completed, data two with 1 second gap. But obviously, in order to, we have created two promise now, we have to use the promise also. How I'm going to use the promise? Right, Madhu, Ankita, using dot then. Is it okay? So with step one, I'm using dot then. In the variable result, I'm calling the result of step two, right? This second promise will be called. I'm using another then dot final result, with which I am going to print. I'm going to call console.log, that same variable I'm calling here, right? Two then I'm using here now. Is it okay? I'm using one catch error that is going to print me the error message if any of the error occurred. Now we are using here two then. Yes. Okay, so what we can do is I've just completed this example. I think it will take some time to complete this example, and for that we need to give enough time. I think it's fine if we keep the topics up to this only. We have done enough topic in this class that I will do in the next class, so that we'll understand in a more way, right? Because we are already left with only 1 or 2 minutes. So it will be difficult for me to explain it from the starting. So what we do is I keep this code, and we'll complete that in the next class of from concept of promise chaining and error handling, so that we can give enough time for this. Is it okay? I don't want you guys to keep it here till like 9:40, 9:45. That will not make sense. So this is a bit lengthy code, so we'll complete that in the next class. But I hope you are good with the other topics that we have done here in this class, that what are ES6 classes, how they are good versus prototypal inheritance, what is callback function, how we do that, what is callback hell, how to avoid the callback hell using the promise. So here we are left with promise chaining that we do in the next class. Is it okay for all of you? Is it helpful? Yes. Is it fine? Perfect. So what I'll do, I'll share all the files. So there's all the file with you guys, so that it would be easy for you to practice also. Is it okay? Please don't message me. I need to send the files. Otherwise, in that way, it will go to only one person. Please don't message anything, direct message. Yes. Guys, can you first of all please acknowledge, have you received all the files? 18, 19, 20, 21. Is it okay? Perfect. So I request all of you to please, first of all, work on all these files that we have done in this class. Rest of the things we'll discuss in the next class and then we'll move with the next topic that on Friday. Is it okay? So till then, you have few days, practice it. Keep your doubts, okay? And Madhu, I will also discuss one of the thing that you have mentioned in the next class also, so that it will be easy for you to understand the concepts easy. Is it okay? Perfect. So that's all. So signing off today. Signing off for the today session. We'll meet on Friday again. Right? Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.